Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Jennifer Cook DeRosa from Homeschooling for College Credit, and our presentation today is going to give you an introduction to Thomas Edison State University, some of the basics as to why you might look at this as a school for your teen. This is going to be kind of an admissions presentation, and you should know that I don't work for Thomas Edison in any way, shape, or form. However, you will see I'm wearing my Thomas Edison t-shirt, and the reason for that is because I am an alumni of Thomas Edison. So just a very quick backstory on this. When I would say around 2005 or 2006, I took my first CLEP exam, and homeschooling for college credit was not around back then. It wasn't even an idea at that time, but I took a CLEP exam as a way of maybe exploring how I could get a bachelor's degree. I had an associate's degree at the time, and my associate's degree was what I needed for my job. So that was not a problem, but I wanted a bachelor's degree. And one of the things that happened to me was that when I sent my associate's degree transcript to the different schools that I was considering, I kept hitting brick walls. And the reason that I kept hitting brick walls is because my associate's degree was from an institution that was nationally accredited, not regionally accredited. Well, that was a big wake-up call into the world of accreditation. And that's how I learned the differences between regional and national accreditation. So you'll know in homeschooling for college credit, we talk a lot about that, right? That's one of the reasons, because that was a problem that bit me. Well, along the way, I had a lot of opportunities to look at other colleges and degrees and things like that. And what was encouraging about Thomas Edison, not that they would take my nationally accredited credit, they didn't, but they had enough different flexible credit earning opportunities that I was actually able to use something that is kind of an opportunity. It's not necessarily going to, work for you guys today as parents of high school students, but I just wanted to tell you because it kind of speaks to their flexibility. Because I was teaching in a regionally accredited college at the time, I was able to get college credit for all the courses that I was teaching, and they called that credit for courses taught. So I actually was given 26 credits just because I taught those courses at the community college. So that was very exciting to me. And then I had some CLEP exams that I was doing kind of as an experiment to see what that would be like, if they were passable, if they were too hard. And long story short, I was able to accumulate enough CLEP credit in about 6 months to roll all of that together into an associate's degree from Thomas Edison. And so that was enough of a push for me to go ahead and decide that I wanted to get my bachelor's degree. And so I got my associate's and my bachelor's degree from Thomas Edison in 2008. And so when my kids then started in high school, I knew that that was an option. Now, I know also that all of our families, all of our kids have different goals, different career goals, different academic abilities. We want them to earn credit in different ways. So this is not a presentation to tell you that Thomas Edison is going to be the answer to everyone's, decision as to where you go to school, how you do that. That would never, of course, be something that we're going to talk about. But because you can transfer in lots of types of credits, and I'll talk about that at the end after Juliet's presentation, it might be something for your family to consider. And I will, just before she starts, I will say one last thing. You cannot enroll at Thomas Edison as a high school student. So all of this, please be thinking this would be a process that your student could earn college credit now, but then they would enroll as soon as they graduated from high school. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm going to turn it over to Juliet.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jennifer, and welcome to everyone who decided to join us this morning. I am Juliet Poncello, and I work at Thomas Edison State University, which is one of the state universities of New Jersey. And I am thrilled to be here chatting with you about possible college opportunities for your children. So I'm going to start off by telling you what makes Thomas Edison State University different from some of the other opportunities available to your children. As I said, we are a New Jersey state institution. We are one of the larger state institutions in New Jersey, and all of our programs are online. Another differentiating factor is that we do offer the associate's degree, the bachelor's degree, master's degree, as well as currently 2 doctoral programs, one in business and one in nursing. But we are going to be expanding our doctoral programs over the next year or two to be including an education degree, as well as more of a generic doctoral program. And I know that a lot of folks here are probably interested in learning about the associate's degree and the bachelor's degree. So that's what we're going to be focusing on in today's conversation. So why do people choose Thomas Edison? Well, one of the reasons they choose us is because we are affordable. As a state institution, if you are in state, you get a slightly discounted rate than those who are out of state. Keep in mind that of our 14,000 or so students, about 40% of them are from outside of New Jersey. We have students from all over the country. We have a fair amount of military personnel, so students who are located all over the world. So we offer a lot of benefits to a lot of different types of learners. We do have personal service. That's something that we pride ourselves on, whether you're speaking with me, whether you're speaking with one of our admissions counselors, our academic advisors. We have created a model that serves you, the student and their family, at a distance. So you never need to come to New Jersey, although we'd love to see you here. You never need to physically come to a traditional classroom. Everything that we offer is provided to you online or through independent study. Also, I think one of the topics that we're really going to focus in on this presentation is about earning credits through transfer and prior learning assessment. So when you look at affordability, I often think, well, that's because we're so affordable because we will accept so many credits in transfer that you have saved your money on earning those credits so that you don't have to pay full freight at Thomas Edison. Jennifer, I'm not sure if we'll be getting questions along the way, if you'll let me know what they are, or just let me know if I should just continue on.
I will. And if you guys have questions as she's presenting, feel free to type them right into the chat box. I'll monitor the chat box and we'll make sure that all the questions get answered before you leave today.
Thank you. So in addition to our associates through doctoral programs, within our undergrad programs, we offer over 100 different areas of study. So if you wanted to get a Bachelor's of Arts in Music, we have that program. If you wanted to get a Bachelor's of Science in Business, we have that program. Our most popular degrees are the Bachelor's of Arts in Liberal Studies and the Bachelor's of Science in Business in General Management. So those are the 2 top feeders, if you will, for students, simply because those programs are the most flexible as far as accepting credits from external sources. So you might come to me and say, Julie, I really, really want a degree in engineering. We have a degree in engineering, but based on the credits you're transferring into us, they might not all fit in that because that's a very prescribed degree program. And you're like, well, you know what? I don't care. I really want the degree in engineering, and it's worth it to me to lose the ability to transfer some of those credits in that I've earned. Or you might say, you know what? I want to make the best use of every single credit that I have earned. Tell me what that degree is. And just about every time it's the Bachelor's of Arts in Liberal Studies. We also offer 12 terms per year at our undergrad level, so associates and bachelors. So right now, November 8th, we are currently registering for the December term. And we generally register for the terms about 3 weeks. Let me see if I can say this properly. 3 weeks before the term starts is when we have our regular registration. And then if you want to register closer to the start date, you can still do that, but there is a little bit of a late registration fee. Long story short, when you are ready to get started, whether it's December, whether it's June, whenever it is, we have a term starting up. Our undergraduate courses are all 12 weeks long. They will have a weekly reading assignment, a weekly writing assignment, generally, a midterm and a final, which are also done online through a proctored testing organization that we use called ProctorU. And within each week, you never have to be logged in at any specific time. So it's not like every Thursday from 6 to 9, you need to be in class. No, it's very independent. Within week 1, there's assignments that you need to get done. And as long as you get them in by the date that's due, you're good to go. Also, should something come up, like you're going on vacation, somebody's gotten ill, and you need a little bit more time to finish your assignment, just reach out to your mentor, which is what we call our faculty members. They are there to guide you through the course, answer questions that come up along the way, and provide a level of support to you. The largest way, I think, that we exceed people's expectations is the amount of transfer credits that we will accept. Our undergraduate bachelor's degrees are generally 120 credits. Of that, we will accept up to 90 from any single source. So 90 from ACE, 90 from your local community college, 90 from a four-year school that you may have attended or may attend at some point. In addition to that, 90, because I think I might have just confused myself a little bit, 90 from any single source, ACE credits, community college credits. If you have earned more than 90 credits at a four-year school, which I don't think is for this audience, we would accept them in as well. Long story short, if you've done the credits, chances are we will accept them up to that 90 amount. The remaining 30 credits you do through Thomas Edison State University courses. Jennifer, do you want to jump in at all? Anything there that I've said?
I don't know if you have to do all 30 at Thomas Edison.
You don't.
But we do want to emphasize that 30 credits need to be from a regionally accredited college or university.
Yes.
So as you're kind of piecing a plan together, the credits, like for instance, if your high school student is taking English 101 at the local dual enrollment community college, that would count as one of those 30 regionally accredited graded credits. And so I don't want to get like too into the weeds as far as exactly where each and every credit can come from. But for the majority of students, all of the credit that you earn in high school is going to count.
Well said. And yes, we do have, as I said, one of the most flexible transfer policies. There are only two courses that you must take through Thomas Edison. It's the capstone course and it's a critical information literacy course. Those two courses must be Thomas Edison State University courses. If you take that path and transfer in all of your remaining 114 credits, 80, no more than 80 from a community college or ACE, the remainder can be from CLEP, can be from Thomas Edison tests. You would then pay a residency waiver fee of, it's a few $1,000s. But again, that's into the weeds, but it is possible. And Jennifer's organization will help you and your child determine exactly what they need to do to get to that 90 credits. And then we will take it over from there. And at no point will we say, well, you have to take the rest from Thomas Edison. We will actually guide you. Our advisors will guide you on what additional credits you can earn elsewhere to transfer in.
So we do have a question in the chat.
Perfect.
And I think I might know the answer, but I'm not going to say for sure here. The question is, your community college example, those would be considered lower level, right? And I do believe that the answer is that 100% of the time community college courses come in as lower level. Is okay.
It would come in as 100 and 200 level courses.
And so to kind of add just a little bit of a layer to that, on some occasions, the degree plan that you're looking at may have a named course. And so that named course, the number is not as important as the name. And so for instance, if the course had to be, I don't even know an example of one off the top of my head, but if the name of the course matches, then sometimes that can meet that degree requirement. So it wouldn't necessarily matter the number, but community college courses are lower level. The question in the chat was, would the remaining 30 have to be upper level? And that is a no. They do not. And so, I hope I don't misspeak, but I believe that the current upper level requirement is 18. Is that right, Juliet?
Yes.
Okay. So it's 18 as an institution. So keep in mind, some degrees could have different requirements, particularly if they have named requirements, right? but 18 upper level credits would need to be completed, and those don't have to be from Thomas Edison. Although in the very beginning, I spoke about my own journey with Thomas Edison, and I have my transcript actually, you guys. I pulled it out just in case I got asked questions. But that's sort of what I did. I transferred into Thomas Edison with 90 credits, and I completed my last 30 with Thomas Edison's classes. And that doesn't work for everybody, but that was a good fit for me. I wanted lots of graded credit because I knew I was going to grad school. So, there's a lot of different options. I like to say that, they're very flexible, and, you guys know from Homeschooling for College Credit, we talk a lot about meeting high school requirements and not just chasing college credit. So, if you're bringing college credit into your homeschool where it makes sense, it's probably meeting general education requirements because your high school classes are going to be very similar. And so as you accumulate those credits using all those different options, if you start to get, that many credits that you're worrying whether or not they're going to work towards a degree, that's kind of what Juliet was talking about, where, we can talk to you about whether or not you're on the right track. If you're getting 15 to 30 credits, while you're still in high school, you're going to probably be able to use each and every one of those. It's only after you start getting a lot of credit that it becomes more important that you choose carefully.
Absolutely. Great point.
Okay, so we had a question in the chat about 90 credits from a single source. For example, 90 from ACE or 90 from, let's say, Straighterline or study.com. Juliet, do you know that answer?
Yeah, so I apologize. I'm always a little bit confused about that. I know we will accept 90 credits from a community college, regionally accredited community college. In addition, we will accept up to 90 credits from any ACE evaluated entity. So that's 90 credits total from Straighterline, study.com, Penn Foster, anything of that. That would be 90 credits total of ACE credits.
Did that answer the question,
yeah.
Keisha? And really, you guys have to do the numbers here, because if you have 90 credits from ACE, you are going to need 30 credits that are graded from a regionally accredited college. So you get to a point where even though you have those credits and even though they would be accepted, the utility goes down because you wouldn't be able to use them. Like, so for instance, let's say you took somehow, some way, you managed to accumulate 120 college credits in math. Okay, just math. None of those credits would be excluded according to their policy, but there is no such thing as a degree that uses 120 credits in math, right? So the credits are accepted, but they aren't going to apply to the degree because that's too many of the same kind of credit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a great way to say it, Jennifer. We often tell students, chances are we will accept every single credit that you transfer. And that's what we do. That's how we were created 50 years ago. But they have to fit into our degree. So everyone, regardless of if you're going for an engineering degree or a music degree, you need English 1 and 2. You need some math, you need some science, you need some social studies. Everyone needs those general education courses. And then on top of that, that's when we can play around with our computer system. And even you as the student can log in once you're enrolled and say, you know what, Julie, run my credits, or you know what, computer, run my credits against these 4 different degrees. Tell me which one not only makes the best use of my credits, but after you figure out which one makes the best use of your credits, there might be 2 that accept all 90. The question then is, of the 30 remaining credits or of the 24 remaining credits, whatever it would be, which courses are going to be more interesting to you or more useful if you're going to graduate school? If you have an area of expertise that you really love to learn about, then by all means, take advantage of, again, that flexibility in our degrees to make the right choice for you.
And we have a question in the chat, and it's a great question. And it asks if most of the courses if most of the courses from a community college are accepted, but what if they're not related to the degree we're seeking? For example, could welding classes be used as electives in a liberal arts degree? And Juliet, do you want to answer that?
Absolutely. So if they are showing on a transcript as credit-worthy courses from a community college, we will accept them. Number one. Number two, is there room for them to fit in the degree? In our Bachelor's of Arts of Liberal Studies program, we have 27 credit space for free electives. So those welding courses, they would fit there, right? Anything under the sun that you have earned credit for that show up on a regionally accredited transcript or through an ACE transcript that don't fit anywhere else, they would go into your free electives. Now, if you're transferring in more than 27 credits of possible free elective work, then they wouldn't fit anywhere. Because again, go back to the model of everyone still needs English 1 and 2, math, history, social studies, psychology. So you've got to fill those courses up as well. But I'm going to say the answer to that is yes, we will accept them and they will transfer in. And Jennifer, I just want to add one comment about the GPA because you brought that up a few times. When you transfer to Thomas Edison, we do not calculate a GPA on transfer credits. So if you went through all testing, you have no credit, no GPA per se, that's fine. It doesn't matter to us. If you've transferred in a bunch of credits from the community college, when you come to Thomas Edison, your GPA, your Thomas Edison GPA is only based on courses that you take with us. So if you end up taking 2 courses at Thomas Edison, 2 graded courses at Thomas Edison in order to get your degree, and you earned A's in both of them, your Thomas Edison GPA is a 4.0. Okay. If and when you decide to transfer to graduate school, most likely, unless you come to Thomas Edison, because we love our Thomas Edison undergrad alumni, and as long as you have a 3.0 overall, you are automatically admitted. If it's a little bit lower than that, we will just work with you to get you in. But if you go to a more traditional, quote unquote, graduate program, they are going to ask for transcripts from every institution you attended, and they're going to calculate their own GPA for the purpose of admission.
That's right. And one of the things that I think is important to emphasize, and I think homeschool parents sometimes really get caught up on the admissions process, that Thomas Edison is not going to have your student take the SAT or the ACT, none of those. It's not a competitive admissions process. And so, and the fact that you're coming in with college credit already proves that your student can do the work.
Absolutely, great point. I forgot to mention that.
We have some questions in the chat and I want to kind of hit on those. I also want to mention back on the question about the welding classes, because I actually have a son who has a degree in welding. And so I'm very familiar with welding classes. One of the things I would encourage you to do is if possible, if your student is going to go into welding then as a career, and this would be true for any of those trade occupations, your community college may be a really great source for an Associate of Applied Science degree, particularly if they allow you to start that in high school as a dual enrolled student. And then the most utility that you're going to get out of that is actually going to be that their general education courses are going to perfectly transfer into Thomas Edison. The liberal arts degree, however, may not be the best degree that Thomas Edison has for that bachelor's. And the reason I say that is because liberal arts classes are probably going to be the same classes as the general education classes that your welding student took. So the English, the history, the math, and all of that. Whereas in a liberal arts degree, it's all those classes. It's all gen eds, if you will, both lower and upper level. So you may find a better return on investment if instead of focusing on the liberal arts degree, you looked at something like business, because that could be something that would build on their skills as a blue collar, but then take them into like either management or ownership of their own manufacturing shops. So just something to think about on the side there.
And Jennifer, let me just jump in because we do also offer a Bachelor's of Science in Technical Studies, which is kind of the catch-all for students who have that technical trade.
Oh, yes, talk about that because I'm not familiar with that degree, and that might be a perfect fit.
So again, if you've got a student who has an AAS degree, right? We will accept the AAS in absolutely. The credits might best fit in the Bachelor's of Science in Technical Studies. That's why we created that degree. That's kind of the catch-all degree for folks who are coming in and don't fit, if you will, into any of our other technical degrees. That's generally what we will say to try. And also when you apply to Thomas Edison, in the application, it says, if you don't know which degree you're going to choose, because there's 100 different ones, to choose from, You can choose the degree that's going to make the best use of my credits, and we'll do that work for you. We will then tell you, oh, okay, Jane, you fit best in the Bachelor's of Science and Technical Studies. Jim, you fit best in the Bachelor's of Arts and Religion, whatever it would be. You are never married to the degree. If you decide, you know what, Julie, okay, that's what you said was going to be the best use of my credits, but the remaining courses I need to take, I am not interested in them. I don't think I would excel in them. I don't want to do that. Great, let's look for a different degree then. That might use the exact same amount of credits, or might be one course shy of that, but the remaining courses you have to take are much more enjoyable to you and in line with what you'd like to do.
I don't know if this is going too deep into it, but can you talk about 2 degrees? If a student wants to get 2 degrees, I know some colleges offer double majors. So is that an option, or would it be 2 separate degrees? We had a question in the Q&A box.
It would be 2 separate degrees. We don't offer a dual bachelor's degree. I don't think, I've only been doing this for 25 years, right? So you think I would know, but I don't believe we offer a dual major or minor either. But what I often tell students, I often tell students 2 things when they talk to me about a second bachelor's degree. I say, at Thomas Edison, a second bachelor's degree is going to cost you 30 credits of work, right? Time, investment, experience, money. I suggest that instead of going for a second bachelor's for 30 credits, you look to do a graduate degree for 36 credits. It's the same amount of work, 30 to 36 credits. The cost is a little bit higher. The content is a little bit more stringent, if you will, but you've already successfully earned your bachelor's degree. Take the step, take the risk, and earn your master's degree. Absolutely, hands down, end of story.
And I want to say, you guys, a lot of the time, because I have a master's degree, a lot of times in our brain, we think that, okay, if 9th grade is harder than 8th grade, 10th grade is harder than 9th grade, and up, that the master's degree is harder than the bachelor's degree. And that is not always the case. If you look at the coursework that's in a master's or a graduate degree, very often you're going to see repetition of classes. There's differences. Okay, don't get me wrong. There's a lot more writing. The tuition is usually higher, but the graduate degrees typically are about 30 to 40 credits. Okay, so that is really the same as 1 year of undergraduate. The prestige is going to be higher because there are fewer people walking around this planet with a master's degree. And I think last I checked, only like 13% of people in the United States had a master's degree or higher. So if you're looking at continuing the education beyond the bachelor's degree and considering a second bachelor's, I'm in the same camp. I think it is so much better to get the master's degree because it creates a whole set of opportunities that you might not have had. Now in the chat, or rather in the Q&A, we had a question where the 2 degrees that the person was considering were computer science and business. And I think those are perfect opportunities where the undergraduate would be in computer science because that's where you learn the skills, right? And then the business would be an MBA, which is a great combination.
Absolutely. So I also have 2 graduate degrees and I'm currently working on my doctorate. And if you would have asked me when I was a teenager, if I was graduate school material or doctoral, absolutely not. But then I learned, and I had other role models who had successfully navigated their way through education. And whenever someone talks to me about graduate work, I say, look, it's a handful of courses compared to your undergraduate degree. And these are courses that you like, right? You're not having to take English and science and social studies all again that you may or may not have enjoyed. You're going to focus. I have a master's in communications. All of my courses were about communications. I loved it. I have a second master's in educational administration. I'm doing that work now. So it was really relevant to me. So I'm not going to continue on the path of getting your master's degree other than to also just put in a plug for Thomas Edison's bachelor's to master's program, which allows our undergrad students to earn up to 12 graduate credits while finishing their undergrad degree. And those credits are used to both degrees. So they fulfill 12 credits of your undergrad, your bachelor's degree, and they fulfill 12 credits of your graduate degree. Now
Yes,
there's a,
you guys, so just to be clear what she's saying, this is like dual enrollment, but at the college level. Okay, so like when your student takes English 101 and you're giving them high school credit and they're getting college credit for English 101, how you're double dipping, Thomas Edison has that program for their bachelor master's combo, right? So you take a graduate level class
you
and
pay
then
the undergrad tuition. Yeah, you pay the undergrad tuition for it.
and you pay the undergrad tuition, just like dual enrollment, you're getting it cheaper. And
Yep.
it's killing two birds with one stone. You're getting credit in both master's and undergrad program. So that is for sure something to think about. And, you know, I mean, obviously, the college wants you to stay. I mean, so they have incentives, you know, to give you, to keep you there. That benefits them. But it also then, just from a user end, let me just say this piece, because a lot of you guys are going to know this too with your kids doing their dual enrollment. Once you kind of learn a platform as a student, like once you are kind of familiar with it, once you know how to sign into your college account, once you know how to access the registration portal and kind of navigate, and then once you use their learning management software and things like that, it's nice to kind of stay with the same one instead of changing colleges a lot. And at least with my kids, that was always kind of a pain to have to change. So that's just something to consider. And that's probably like way out down the road, but
Way down the road. But
way down the road. But you know, if you're thinking with the end in mind, which is always good if you have a student who has their goals kind of mapped out, this is a way of kind of reverse engineering the process. And I will tell you that when I was a student, they also still had that program. I had considered that. I wanted my master's degree in nutrition, so that did not work for me. But had I gone with business or something like that, I would have for sure done that. So
thank you. And we have probably 15 to 20 different master's degrees now. And they do seamlessly fit from our, Masters of Arts and Liberal Studies, fits right from our bachelor's into our master's program. The bachelor's in cybersecurity fits right there. We have an MBA, we have an MSM, a Master's of Science in Management. And just to circle back, and I want to make sure we're okay on time, Jennifer, I think we're good. We do have a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration with a specialization in computer studies or something like that. So the question about, could I take these two degrees? Maybe not the way you're thinking, but even if you came to me with the Bachelor's of Arts and you want a degree in business, we have a Bachelor's of Arts in Liberal Studies with a specialization in general management. So again, get us your credits, tell us what, path you're on, and then we most likely will have a way to make it work for you.
yeah. I think the thing to think about and the takeaway is that, particularly since you guys are homeschooling, you're bringing college credit into your high school. Some of you have access to free dual enrollment. I mean, there's a lot of ways that you're reducing the cost on the front end so that at the back end of it, you have more options. And I know that, like for me in the process, I knew where I wanted to go to grad school before I even finished my undergrad. Like I kind of had that already in mind, and I knew it was going to be expensive. And so this made sense. It made sense for me to cash flow my associate's and bachelor's degrees because that saved money for the degree that I needed at the time. And so that's something to think about. Now we have a few questions from the chats. I want to make sure we don't miss anybody. One question is, can you transfer in ACE credits for a master's? And I think one thing to know is that there aren't a lot of ACE credits that are evaluated for graduate level.
Right.
There are a couple, I know that you guys do have a partnership with statistics.com, because statistics.com courses, many of them are graduate level credit, and they are ACE. And you guys have a partnership for a degree, but I want to say it was just one degree. I don't know if you know that on the top of your head, which one it is.
It was one degree, specifically a Master's of Science in Statistics.
Okay.
So I would say the answer is yes. We will accept up to 12 graduate credits in transfer. So let's say, again, our traditional student at our school is an adult. They're in their 30s. They've gone to school back when they were young, but they never finished up. And sometimes they come to us with, I got my bachelor's degree, I started my master's degree, and then I had a baby, and then my job changed, and then this. Are those grad credits still any good? Generally, if they're less than 7 years old, and we will accept up to 12 credits at the graduate level, again, they have to fit towards the degree requirements. There's not really room for free electives at the graduate level. But if you had done a course in Introduction to Communications at the graduate level, it's been within 7 years, and you wanted to transfer it to our degree in liberal studies at the graduate level, I'm pretty sure that would fit.
Yeah.
So generally, and this is what I always like to tell people, we are one of the most flexible programs you will find. So if it's possible to do it, chances are we can.
Yes. Now, did you have another slide? Otherwise, I wanted to show them something on my screen.
Yep, I've got some more, but you can
No, go ahead. Go ahead. That's all right. I'm sorry.
Okay. So we already spoke about this, saving time and money using prior learning assessment. Now, prior learning assessment for us is a big kind of umbrella. And within the umbrella is testing, the CLEPs, the DSEPs, the Dantes, the New York University language exams, whatever you might have. Also, we have a process called portfolio assessment, where you can say, hey, Julie, you want me to take a course in accounting, and I've not yet done a test of accounting. I haven't yet filled that degree requirement, but I've been working for my family business in accounting. I looked over the end, the description of that course that says, at the end of accounting 1, you will learn A, B, and C. And I'm pretty sure I have that knowledge. You could then create what we call a portfolio assessment of your knowledge specifically related to that course. Not sure how relevant this is, Jennifer, especially to a younger population, but just putting it out there.
Well, I mean, that depends. Some, homeschoolers they run the whole spectrum as far as what their home education looks like. And I can say that a lot of people who maybe follow a different approach, like an unschooling approach, you may have, very, very intense activities that could generate college credit, that your student has spent their lifetime working on, a hobby that they've really dug into. So
yeah, then let me jump in there and give a better
don't rule it out, don't rule it.
Let's say that the student has room for 9 credits of free elective work. Okay, they know that they need 9 credits. Free electives can be anything. And they have been playing piano since they've been 5. Well, all the student would do would be to find a course that's offered at a school, at a community college or a 4-year school in piano 1, piano 2, piano 3. You would then work with Thomas Edison's advisors to say, I have the knowledge I would have gained in piano 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to challenge those courses. And you would write a paper about your knowledge of piano, theory, music, history. And then maybe you're going to provide, a video of you playing the piano. That might be a little bit more relevant. Again, you need to need those credits to earn your degree, number 1. Then you need to find a school anywhere across the country, regionally accredited school that offers courses in that degree, in that program, in that area of study, that piano, for example. Then you need to come back to Thomas Edison and say, I'm going to challenge those courses. Help me create my portfolio. So that's one way. Earning your degree when and where you want. Again, 12 months, 12-month start dates, no specific time to be logged in every week. Very flexible and very convenient for the student. And then we already spoke about earning your bachelor's degree, your master's degree while working on your bachelor's. This is my second to last slide. So this is one I just call keys to success. Figure out your tuition. If you're going to be receiving or applying for financial aid, do that ahead of time. I'm not sure whether or not financial aid is a big part of this community, but if so, you have to stay on top of your financial aid. You have to apply for it every year. Once you have been awarded, you have to log back into the system and accept the award and complete an interview and complete a master promissory note. Again, all online, but just steps you have to follow.
Let me just add. So parents, when you're in high school, you're not eligible for financial aid. So as you know, as you accumulate your college credits through dual enrollment, those you're paying cash for, or you live in a state that has some kind of a tuition provision, or even free dual enrollment. And then any of your CLEP exams, your DSST exams, your AP exams, your ACE credit, those you pay cash out of pocket as you go. So all of those opportunities in high school, you're not going to have student loan debt because you're paying cash. When you graduate, then as far as the alternative credits go, those still you could earn by paying cash for it. So like you can't use financial aid for study.com, for example. You still pay cash for that. But any of the courses that you want to take at Thomas Edison, so for instance, you want to take the capstone and then
The critical information literacy.
information literacy. Sorry, I was trying to blank. You can use financial aid for those, and you may even use the financial aid to take more. I mean, that's kind of how I did it. So I will say that at the time that I did it, I knew I wanted to take courses during that last year, and my family qualified for a Pell Grant. So in order to get to use that Pell Grant, I needed to enroll in a certain number of credits. So I had to meet eligibility to be able to do that. But if you have, if you qualify for a Pell Grant, that's something that you can use. If your student earns scholarships, particularly outside of you know, the institution, like if they are part of an association or a club or a church or a community group that gives scholarships, you can use all your normal financial aid stuff at Thomas Edison for those classes.
Absolutely. And I'm not sure, is PTK familiar to you, Jennifer, as the Honor Society of Community College Students?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we have a scholarship opportunity for any PTK member as well. So just keep that in
Yeah,
mind.
so you guys, when you do that, that's going to come through your community college if you get good grades. If your community college is one of the participating schools in that, you can go to your community college's financial aid tab and just see if that's on there. But everybody who meets a certain threshold gets this opportunity to be part of that program. And then the four-year schools can recognize that. And in this case, Thomas Edison does recognize that. And so they give a scholarship for that.
Absolutely. And in addition to that, and I should have put this in my slides, I'll add it the next time. We have awarded credit for PTK courses. So the PTK members are able to take what's called EDGE courses. They're about leadership, they're about communications. They are online free courses available to PTK members. And we are one of the 3 institutions in the country that award credit for that. I think it's a total of 3 credits that will come in towards free electives, but there's another opportunity for a way, and those would be above any kind of single service, right? Like they're not ACE, they're not community college, they are Thomas Edison awarded credits. So there's another way to add some additional credits.
Very good.
So yes, once you finish up with Homeschooling for College credit, you have earned your high school degree, you have completed the 90 credits. At that point, you'll enroll with us and our academic advising team will take over. As I said earlier, we will advise you on courses you can take with us. We will advise you on courses you can still take at your community college. We'll advise you on courses you can still take through the open ed resources, whatever it may be. But you've got to have the degree earned, the high school degree, and you have to have well, really, you have to have the high school degree earned. And if you're coming in with those 90 credits, then you're good to go. We'll take the rest from there. Course registration is available 24/7. We use the platform called Moodle, which sounds like noodle, like chicken noodle soup, but it's with an M for mom. I don't know why I didn't come up with that. Textbooks, course materials, they're all ordered online. We have created some of our courses with a little $sign next to them and an X. And those are called free textbook courses. So those are courses that we have created where there's no additional purchase of a textbook or additional course materials. So that's just another way to save you some money. Exams, again, done through proctor.edu.
Yeah,
And so when you start your course, it'll say, okay, Julie, in week 6 of this course, you need to take your midterm. You then schedule the midterm in advance. You log in at the time you're supposed to take your exam, take the exam, it comes back to us, you're good to go. And as I said, most courses have a discussion board, and that's the way you're also going to engage with your mentor, who is your faculty member. And then the last slide is a picture of our president, Dr. Hancock. who again shows us every day that the reason we are here doing the job and the work that we do is because we know the amazing benefits. People are healthier when they have a degree. People make more money when they have a degree. There's less chance of underemployment or unemployment when you have a degree. Everything under the sun. So we are here to help you, help your child get that final credential.
Yes, thank you so much for all that. I want to take a moment just to show you guys on the Homeschooling for College Credit website where you're going to be able to find the credits and classes that you can take so that you can work this out. And give me a second here to get on the page. So I am on the 30 ways to earn college credit tab. Okay. And when you're looking at the courses that you can use at Thomas Edison, this is going to be your resource that you can use to kind of plan this. Now, each of you is in a different situation because of your access and costs as it relates to those regionally accredited graded credits. That is the type that you'll remember you have to have 30 credits that are RA graded at your when you transfer into Thomas Edison, or that you take at their institution, because they are RA and those credits are graded, right? So you have to build 30 either from ones that you've done through dual enrollment, or then the ones that you're going to take when you enroll or matriculate into Thomas Edison. Okay, so you can read more about dual enrollment if you haven't done that yet. If your student hasn't started doing that, you can read about that. And I have lots of lists here, including free dual enrollment opportunities that anybody in the country can do. So this little section will give you some good information on those 30. And then the alternative credits that we talked about start in type 2. So credit by exam, which are exams that you can independently study for and then take the exam. And if you pass the exam, you get college credit. So many of you may be familiar with advanced placement from when you were in high school. Advanced placement can be done by homeschoolers. It's a little bit challenging because not all high schools allow families to participate. And so you might get some pushback there, but you can do CLEP exams. You can do TSST exams. And for those of you with fluency or want to work on fluency in world languages, they accept the ACTFL as well as the NYU FLP, which are college credit exams that award enormous amount of college credit. So if you're a bilingual home, this right here, low-hanging fruit, make sure you get this credit before your student graduates high school. And then these are some of the ACE providers that have mostly self-paced courses, pay-as-you-go courses, lower cost, independent study types of courses. These are courses that generally don't have teachers, so you still kind of serve as your homeschool teacher for your student, and your student works on that. Now, then there are some other courses here, NCCRS, not as accepted outside of Thomas Edison and a couple other schools, but Thomas Edison does accept these courses. And we had a parent confirm in the chat, Juliet, that these courses are accepted. So
thank you.
Okay. So you guys, this is at homeschoolingforcollegecredit.org, and this is in the Help Me Grow 30 Ways to Earn College Credit page. And each of these links opens up to more information about how to use that particular type of credit in your homeschool. Okay, so with that, I think I want to just allow the last couple minutes to make sure we've hit all of the questions in the chat, if that's okay.
Absolutely. And Jennifer, I wanted to just quickly show our undergrad admissions page as well.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yes, let me give you back the chair.
So let's see, share screen. Okay. So Thomas Edison recently changed our admissions policy to allow students under the age of 21 to enroll with us. So if you go to our homepage, which is tesu.edu, then you go to admissions and undergrad admissions. We have as part of our mission statement to serve adult students. So we have a new president. She's been here about 3 to 4 years. And she said, look, these homeschooling students, they are amazing. They are bright. They are self-directed. They are interested in earning their degree. They're everything that our students are as well. Why are we limiting their ability to join us? So we worked to create a new admissions policy And I just want to go over it with you. And if you've got questions that I can't answer, I will follow up with Jennifer and we will get the information to you. But generally, you have to possess a high school degree, GED, or homeschool diploma. Okay, so that's why Jennifer reminded everyone at the beginning of our session, you have to have that credential finished. You can't apply to us. I know some schools have you apply for the college you're going to go to when you're in the middle of your senior year. At Thomas Edison, that doesn't work. You have to have completed the degree before you apply to us for our degree. If you are 16 years of age and have earned your associate's degree, then you will be welcome to join us. You either have to be an active member of the military, an apprenticeship program, or have credits, 6 credits from an accredited institution. Again, if you did the PTK courses, that's part of the professional learning review, or 6 credits of advanced placement. If you don't have that because you took everything through CLEP, then you would simply complete this no course online orientation course and submit the age waiver petition form. Okay. Now, also it says that all students between 16 and 20 will be limited to 9 credits in their first semester. And I know that's really important because Jennifer said to us, look, I understand you guys are just coming up with this new admissions policy, but this could be something that you want to look at in the future because our students want to take more than 9 credits per semester. They want to finish this degree in a very timely manner. So as of now, it's 9 credits at a time for those students, just for your first semester. After that, you're able to take more, but we are looking at that as well. I hope I was clear enough on that.
Yeah, so we had kind of a question that ties into this a little bit. And the question is, if a student transfers in 114 credits, what is the time sequence for those last 2 courses? Can they be taken in the same semester or do they need to be one after the other?
No, they can be taken in the same term.
Okay. So the answer to the question in the chat, how quickly can a student who transfers in 114 credits finish the final 2 courses? That's going to be 12 weeks.
12 weeks. 12 weeks, right. So if you were to do that right now, and all 114 fit towards the degree requirements, and a max of 90 were from one single source, and you would be good to go. Now, you would have to pay the residency waiver fee. And if you want, Jennifer, while you're looking at it for questions, let me pull that up just because I can't remember how much it is. But I know it's expensive, but it's sometimes cheaper than taking, the amount of courses that you would need to take to graduate. So,
and guys, there's always, competing factors. Like time is one factor, money is another factor, using financial aid versus cash flowing is another factor. Getting out of the undergrad degree so you can start the next chapter of life, whatever that is, whether it's grad school, whether it's a job, whether it's mission work, whatever it is, right? So it's not always going to be a one size fits all. So does it make sense to pay the residency waiver and take more outsourced courses, or does it make more sense to choose Thomas Edison courses and then not have to pay the residency waiver? Again, that is kind of a personal decision. It might be a math question, right? You might want to run the numbers both ways if that's important. If you're trying to use financial aid, then if you have this big scholarship that you received from your parents' employer or whatever it is, and you want to use this big scholarship, it may make sense to enroll in those courses so that you can do that. And then you have the graded credit. If you want those grades for grad school, it might make sense to take those classes instead of paying the residency waiver where you're bringing him in. So I don't want to frame this as the residency waiver is a bad thing, or, that taking classes is always a better thing. It's really never the case that it's a one size fits all. So you are the ones, you sit down with your teen, you sit down as a family and you kind of think through, what are the plans here? How much are we going to be paying in both scenarios? What's the timeline in both scenarios? What happens if you graduate from college at age 18 or 19? What's after that? What's next? Because then you're kind of faced with a new set of problems. what do I do with this kid who has a bachelor's degree and who doesn't yet have their driver's license? So, so think through all of these things. So as she's talking about this residency waiver, I just don't want you to frame it only as a cost proposition, because there's a lot of factors here.
And it really is, if you're transferring in 114 credits and only have to take 6 credits with Thomas Edison, then chances are you have saved a ton of money by using alternative ways of earning credit. And if that happens, we have created this, we've created this fee. An out-of-state person, for a degree, regardless of in or out of state, it's $3,354. You pay that one time. That waives the 15 credit requirement, right? Every student has to take at least 6 credits with Thomas Edison. But if you don't want to do those additional credits with us, or you don't need to because you've already transferred them in, then you pay this fee and you're on your way. And then also we do have certificates. We didn't really talk about that at all, but we do have certificates as well.
And I can't recall, do you guys have in-state and out-of-state tuition price differences?
Yes, we do. So let me go undergraduate tuition comparison. So New Jersey students are paying $12.57 for 3 credits. I don't like this page. Let me go to the regular page where it talks about how much will it cost. Back on the same page, tuition and fees. Here we go. Per credit tuition, pay as you go. New Jersey residents, $4.19 per credit. Out of state, $5.45.
And I will tell you guys, because, in our little curated world where we are all bringing college credit into our high school, this is our norm, right? Where we're outsourcing credits. We're thinking of colleges and universities with the idea that we've outsourced a lot of credits, and we want to make sure that those get used later. So this is a very normal thing, but let me just share my experience when I was a student at Thomas Edison. In my classes, because if you missed it at the very beginning, I took 30 credits as an enrolled student. In my classes, I can tell you the number of times on one hand that I met another student who used alternative credit. I remember having a conversation with several students in one of our discussions about CLEP. People in my class didn't even know about CLEP. So it can feel very much like, the way to do this degree is only to outsource all of your credits. And then what will a future employer or a future college think or whatever? That's really not the norm. I mean, Thomas Edison's a normal university, right? It's just that because they're so flexible, we're starting so early in the process, you're able to, be strategic and save some time and some money by homeschooling for college credit, obviously. And so you're coming in, but your student, if they come in with all of this college credit, is really still the exception. It's not really the rule. And so you're kind of beating, I hate to say that. Can I say beating them at their own game? Because you're not breaking any rules. I mean, this is an allowable thing. It's in their system as an allowable and a acceptable.
It is, so, absolutely.
Yeah, you're just being smart.
on our homepage, because I liked how you said, we are a real institution. We are a real institution. We have, beautiful buildings in downtown Trenton. We love when students come to visit us, but you never need to, right? We were designed to serve you where you are at. So I just wanted to show you our community college student page, and here's information on the PTK. Right, so
okay.
Also, all students who are coming to us through Homeschooling for College Credit receive a waived application fee. You would just need to submit all of your transcripts to us upon the application. Again, got to have the high school degree done before you apply.
And on your application, there'll be a drop down and you can select Homeschooling for College Credit.
Yep.
We do not, and I want to say this, we do not get a kickback if you go to Thomas Edison. We are completely neutral third party in this. So whether or not you choose Thomas Edison or somewhere else, that we want you to make the best choice. So there's nothing there that is fishy or shady, or there's no kickbacks or anything like that. It's just an opportunity for you to save on the application fee. And we're really thankful that Thomas Edison recognizes us and the value that you guys bring to their institution. So
let me wrap up with one other, because I just saw somebody. Yes, we do have 4 graduations per year. We graduate students 4 times a year. So if you're looking for a job, you're looking for you're looking for, graduate school and you need to have your degree conferred by a certain date, we confer degrees 4 times a year. Once a year, we have a big celebration in Trenton every fall where students come from all over the world with their families and they walk across the stage in their cap and gown, and it's very formal. So yes, we do that as well.
Okay, and I know there was a few questions here that we did not get to. And so I want to invite you guys to send me an email if your question is related to homeschooling, college credit, anything that's happening in kind of the K through 12 sphere of it. And then Juliet can maybe answer some questions after this relating more specifically to the college piece of it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been super informative. And I'll say it again because I got my Thomas Edison shirt on. I have 2 degrees from Thomas Edison, and homeschooling for college credit wouldn't even be here had I not discovered this type of way of earning college credit in a way that's outsourced, it's flexible, that's affordable. It allowed us as a family then to kind of change the way that we thought about education and pursue degrees with my kids. So it's been very meaningful to me, and I'm happy to bring that to you guys today. So with that, I will say thank you for your attendance, and we'll see you next time.